The question is, you hear me? Avi, yeah? Assume so. Okay, yeah, it's thumbs up. Great. The question is, why Lamaisa aren't we doing a Rava nowadays? That is the $1,000,000 question. At least on the 7th day of Yantif. Why on the 7th day of Yantif we did learn is a little bit arbitrary, because really it should be, there's no difference. I brought a fresh one. Maybe you said, okay. Really, there's no difference between the first day or the 7th day. We just chose the 7th because it can't be the first. Why can't it be the first? Because then we'd think it's because of lulav. So we're ending with a kasha right now. So why don't we take our Rabbis on day number 7? So the Gemara said, oh, you know why? Because we don't know if it's a real day 7. We're not kivyu the yarche. We don't know what Yontif is really. V'haraya, we have 2 days of Yontif. But says the Gemara, and this is where we ended off, in who they, the yadi that they know about, I don't know, I guess we'll call it 17 lines down. First word in line is the yadi. In who they, the yadi that they know, bikvu the yarcha, they know what day it is. Right? In Eretz Yisrael, they're aware what day really is Yontif. How do we know they know what day really is Yontif? Because they only have 1 day of Yontif. So says the Gemara, it should push off Yontif. And this is where we ended off. Answers the Gemara. I think this is an answer that Rav Nasi, when we learned the Mishnah, you said, but wait, Hashanah Rabbah, what did you say? Can never be on Shabbos. Says the Gemara right now, that's the Teretz. We're busy hacking while Lamaisa. We can't, there's one over here. While Lamaisa, we can't push off Shabbos. It's good. It's all good. It's all good. There's a waste. The opening gets thrown out. Water is water. Amen. Don't worry. If it was like hot, I'd open a new one. It's fine. It's good. Says the Gemara, we're busy trying to figure out why Din 7 doesn't push off Shabbos. Answers the Gemara, you know why? It doesn't happen. Day number 7 can never be Shabbos. Rashi points out, if you want to look at Rashi is a little bit further down in the Amid. Rashi, the first one line is Shalanu B'Shvi. Rashi's about, 20 lines from the wide lines. Rashi says, Loi Ikla, Haim, referring to they, Bezdin, Ma'avir, 20 lines, from the wide lines, not 20 lines down. Towards the bottom of the Amid. Hey, Ma'avir and Elul, they make Elul into a leap month. Or one of the months. Kisharayin, when they see that what? She'ira Shvi b'Shabbos. When Bezdin sees that day number 7 is falling out on Shabbos, what do? They come along and they make a leap month. So it can never happen that day 7 falls out on Shabbos. That is the very unglamorous teretz, but okay, that's the way it is. Says the Gemara, Ki asa Ravin, when Ravin came, B'chol nechutei, and all the travelers with him, Amri, they said, I don't understand. Ikla, let it fall out on Shabbos, v'loy dachi, and just don't push off Shabbos. I don't understand. We're like pulling games over here. We're playing with the calendar to make sure it doesn't fall on Shabbos. Ask the Gemara. I don't understand. Just let it happen and don't push off Shabbos. If you're so worried about day 7, let it happen. And don't push it off. Says the Gemara, the Ella Kasha. But now we're stuck with a problem. What's the problem? The problem is, so Lamaisa, let's circle back around. We're in the middle of one big question, our Gemara. What's the one big question of our Gemara? The question is, why Lamaisa day number 7 are we not pushing off Shabbos? Let's go a quick chazara outside. What's the reason day 7 should push off Shabbos? What's the reason? To show, very good, to show that a Rava is deraisa. So says the Gemara, so why aren't we doing that? What? You're not meaning, the Gemara is saying, okay, it doesn't happen. Okay, let it happen. So what's Lamaisa? Velakasha. Says the Gemara, so it's shver. So Amar Rav Yosef. So comes along Rav Yosef, and now this is one of those Gemaras that really the whole Gemara is backwards. Because till now, we've been doing a lot of assumptions as to what happens on day 7. What is it? Right? We said, oh, it's Shana Rabbah. No, it doesn't mean a Shana Rabbah. We said, oh, it means that you're surrounding the Mizbeach with our rabbis. And we didn't know what is happening. So says the Gemara now, finally. Omer Rav Yosef. Man le'malon da'arav bin Atila. Who, Rabbi Nachum Erev Tov. Who told you that our Rava has been Atila? Meaning the Gemara, after going through all Shaklamataria, the Gemara says, I don't understand what the step number 1 was. Who said that we're talking about taking the Aravais in the first place? Dilma, maybe Bizkifa. Maybe what's going on is what is the Arava? Zikifa means standing up. What does that mean? It means standing up the Arava is around the Mizbeach. So what's the teretz of the Gemara? What's the teretz of the Gemara? That we don't have a Mizbeach nowadays. What was your whole kasha? That nowadays we should take the Aravais. Why? So we saw Rashi said, because the minhag of Nevi'im is, says the Gemara, I don't know what you're talking about. The whole Arava is standing it around the Mizbeach. And says the Gemara, we don't have a Mizbeach, and therefore the whole thing doesn't start. I want to learn Rashi together, because Rashi really spells out everything we just said. So let's go to Rashi. Man Leimalan. We learned 2 Rashis. Man Leimalan again, I don't know, 17 lines from the wide lines. Man Leimalan. Who told you? Da'arava b'mikdash b'netila. The Gemara is questioning the premise of everything. Who told you that the Arava in the base of Mikdash is by taking it to Litzchu that it pushes it off? Hashta Arava. Isur midrabanan zeichel Mikdash. And nowadays we should push off Arava. Denidchi Shabbos. Dilma bizkifa. That the whole creation of Arava was what? Bizkifa. What does that mean? But yeah, they didn't take the Arabas with their hands. What do they do with the Arabah? They stood it around the Mizbeach. And nowadays, Leka Mizbeach. So Heicha Nizkifa. Where are you going to stand the Arabas? So what the Gemara is basically teaching us is what was the whole kasha. Oh, nowadays we should do something. Why should we do something nowadays to publicize Arabas Daraisa? Says the Gemara, that's the most ridiculous question in the world. Because the whole mitzvah Rava is standing around the Mizbeach. Now, no one should jump, because I think what's bothering everyone is, number 1, what was the Havamina? And number 2 is, we know that they did more than that. So let's go slowly. That is the teretz of the Gemara.
Is that Rava only in the Mikdash?
It sounds like that the whole din of Hoshana Rabbah is only the base of Mikdash. So we're doing something on Hoshana Rabbah. Okay, that's about to be the next Gemara. But till now, the Gemara is what we call, Kaifer Bakol. And the Gemara is coming along, and the Gemara is saying your whole shmooze was irrelevant. Why? Because there's no Mishkan, and there's no possibility Bisman has that. Yes.
When earlier in the Gemara I was asking
that
you had to come on to Shluchei Bezdin that taking it, and this was so much more relevant over there.
Again.
The whole worry of the Gezerah of Rabbah was they were going to carry it in the street.
The
flow, was already set up.
The flow of the Gemara is very challenging.
So I'm saying even not knowing this part, even just knowing that it was already set up. How could they come to even carry?
Correct.
It was already set up from
this is
and it's only in the Mikdash, and you don't even have an issue.
Exactly.
You don't even have it.
You're all asking good questions, but let's let the Gemara develop itself a little bit further. Eisvei Abaye asks Abaya, Lulav Arava, Shisha V'Sheva. Ask Abaya, 1 second. Fundamentals. Go back to the Mishnah. What did the Mishnah say? That the Lulav and Arava is taking 6. Thank you again. Have a good night. Want some challenge for the road? You're good? Sure. Kogel? Nothing. Okay, next time we have to treat you better. Okay, thank you very much. Esvei Abaye, As Abaya, Lulav Arava, Shisha Vishiva. What did the Mishnah say? Lulav and Arava, either 6 or 7 days. So what's the kasha? Ask the Gemara, my love, is it not that what? That Lulav and Arava are both similar. That what? Ki Lulav. Ask the Gemara. We think that Arava is like Lulav. What does that mean? Ma Lulav binetila. Just like what was the whole mitzvah of Lulav in the Mishnah? You take the Lulav. Avarava binetila. So says the Gemara, you're busy answering me. No, the mitzvah of Arava is skifa, is standing it up. Says the Gemara, I don't understand what you're talking about. I don't get it. The Mishnah lumped Arava together with Lulav. And just like Lulav is with taking the Lulav, Arava should be the same thing. Responds the Gemara, which is what is probably in everyone's mind. I don't know. What's so schwer? Midi Arya? The little translation is Midi something. Arya, is it talking about? Hakadisa, this is like this. Hakadisa, this is like that. Not everything has to be perfect. I can tell you Lulav and it's talking about taking it. I'll tell you Arava, it's talking about around the Mishkan. Just because the Mishnah put the two next to each other isn't conclusive. The kasha was what? The kasha was, wait, from the fact that the Mishnah put them together shows us, oh, Arava must be talking about taking it also. Answers the Gemara. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. So Esvei Abaye, so Abaye doesn't stop. Asks Abaye further from the Mishnah later on. Says the Mishnah is really now, again, one of the Gemaras that after you have all the details, it makes a lot more sense. Esvei Abaye, b'chol yoim, every day, what do? Makifin, they surrounded, hakafas, they went around, Makifin, they surrounded, Esa Mizbeach, the Mizbeach, Pam Achas, one time, Va'isa hayoim, and on that day, what's that day? Hoshana Rabbah, on the 7th day, Sheva Pa'amim, they surrounded the Mizbeach 7 times. What does it mean they surrounded the Mizbeach 7 times? Says Abaye. My love, does it not mean Be'arava? Does it not mean they surrounded and they walked around the Mishkan, the Mizbeach 7 times the Aravais? So Abaye is not giving up. Abaye is saying, we see clearly that Hoshana Rabbah, there is something that you're doing with the Arava, walking with it, taking with it. So every one of these kashas brings back the original question. What's the original question? So we should be taking the Arava nowadays on day 7. Nowadays on Hoshana Rabbah, we should be walking around with the Arava. You know why? To proclaim that when there was a Beis HaMikdash, Arava was there Isa. Says Abaye, I don't know what's going on. Answers the Gemara, Loi. No, it doesn't mean they surrounded the Mishkan, the Mizbeach, with the Arava. The Lulav, it means they surrounded it with the Lulav. They walked around with the Lulav. It doesn't mean they walked around with the Arava. Asks the Gemara. But Rav Nachman says the name of Rabbi Ravua, Be'arava. He says explicitly that what do? They surrounded the Mizbeach with the Arava. Amar lei, he responds, Hu Amar lach Ba'arava. He says, they did it with Arava. Va'ana mina, and I say, Bilulav, with a lulav. So we have a fundamental machlokes. What do they walk around the Mizbeach with? Did they walk around with just the lulav, the dalaminim, or was there a special ceremony they did with the Arava? And we'll conclude, the Gemara concludes, it says, Itmar, it was stated, Rav Elazar Amar, Belulav. Everyone's going to take sides in the argument right now. Rav Shmuel Bar Nasan Amar, Rav Chanina, Ba'arava. V'chein Amar Rav Nachman Amar Rabba, Ba'arabua, Ba'arava, period. And we'll stop over here. So at the moment, what's coming out is we have a fascinating machlokes. What happened, which will boil down to answering up a kasha, whether there's a kasha to take Arava nowadays in day 7. If there's an entity called Arava around the Mizbeach 7 times, And we have a Gvaldik Kasha. We haven't yet answered that question then we have a question. So why Lamaisa nowadays don't we walk around with the rabbis? The only way the Gemara was able to answer it is no. Kaifer Bakol never happened. All they did was they surrounded the Mizbeach with the rabbis. They didn't actually take it. Or the other teretz was it never falls out on Shabbos. So there was no question to begin with. We're going to stop over here. Happens to be, we're going to have a bit of a long break right now because next week Rosh Hashanah is Monday night. So, okay, we have a blot and a half to Chazer and B'siyatza D'Shmai. Pick it up from